Hello and welcome to the Ginger Snaps here. We're discussing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise for you guys in a very blunt way. I'm your host, Steven Harrold.
I'm Kris.
And in today's video, we're going to be giving you guys our review for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, the remake, which was released on what day?
October 17th, 2003.
Celebrating its 20th anniversary last year. So back in 2003, New Line Cinema and Platinum Dunes greenlit the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And of course, a lot of fans did not like that.
No.
They hated the fact that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was getting a fucking remake. Then the movie came out, and there was a mixture of positive and negative. But now, after 20 years, it's safe to say that a lot of people can easily say this is one of the best remakes. It came out in the early 2000s when that was a big thing.
Yeah, early 2000s, a lot of movies, a lot of remakes at that time.
Like The Hills Have Eyes was getting a remake.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead was about to get a remake.
Yeah.
13 Ghosts got a remake. House on Haunted Hill got a remake.
Just a plethora of horror movies that are getting remakes, and then when you hear this about Texas Chainsaw getting a remake, it's like,
Fans were not very fucking happy. I mean,
very skeptical.
It was a little bit equal to when the fans got pissed when Psycho was getting remade. But Psycho, that remake, that's a totally different beast. So after 20 years, finally watching it for the first time, especially with you,
yeah,
it's safe to say that we have something to talk about, especially in a very positive light. So this will be our review for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. So the story of this one is basically very similar to the first film. A bunch of people are traveling down through Texas, not because they're going to a cemetery because a family member got buried there and was dug up or whatever, but because they're going to a Leonard Skinner concert.
Yeah.
And they come across a hitchhiker, which foils their plans, and then come across a whole slew of fucking things and events leading up to Leatherface. Now, for this story, they took things differently because, the hitchhiker scene is different.
Very much so. And back in the day, they made different platforms on this movie, like on how just the hitchhiker scene what came to be. Because if you watch the original, he was acting all crazy, and
it was Nubbins. Well, we just call him Hitchhiker, right? He was a nutcase. He was part of the family and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. In this movie, it's different. It's someone who survived.
Yeah, woman who survives and then shotguns herself, right?
Well, revolver in the mouth, shoots herself in the head, which sets the fucking tone. Which obviously was like one of the things that hit you like, this is different, automatically.
Oh, yeah.
And even to the point where it seems like the whole town is this family. It's not like a small family with the cook, the hitchhiker, Leatherface, and Grandpa. It's literally it seems like a whole town of the family.
Yeah.
And then of course with the threat that is in this movie and the characters in this movie, with this story, to me it feels like it's a great improvement on the remake.
Yeah.
Is it better than the remakes? Slightly. To me, it's slightly better.
Well, I can tell you why it's slightly better in your case, and I can somewhat agree. Well, we'll get into the one character, but I'll let you talk.
Well, I mean, the story itself.
Well, the story itself.
The story, it's slightly better than the original.
Slightly better.
Because they change things.
Yeah, it's something when you take a cut and copy of the original.
Psycho.
Yeah, and
you just colorize it.
In this case, you would just find 4 friends and, in a hot ass Texas landscape in a van.
Yeah.
Like, they could have really, really shit the bed on this one, but they didn't.
And back in 2003, a lot of fans hated this. But then there was a lot more fans who loved this film for its story because of that. And just knowing that the film has gotten a positive vibe, especially when it came to its story, it's like, okay, well, at least it's on par with the original. Like, you can prefer the original, or the remake. It's just, there's a huge debate of, like, which story seems better, especially when it comes... Like, eventually, at some point, I really want to do, like, this segment on this channel, which is a versus between the original and the remake. And this is the one film series
this would be
where it's like, where do we go?
Yeah, you can't...
That and another one. For me, it's just, I know another one.
Wow.
Original remake, where it's just like, this is tough. But
I guess which one that is.
For this story, knocks it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to me, it knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
So for the characters of this movie, we will go from the least popular to the most popular. We'll go with, who would be the least popular? Pepper, I would have to say, who was a hitchhiker and ends up shacking up with the other guy, the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah.
His name?
That would be Morgan.
Morgan? Okay. And then we have our own little Disco Stew.
Disco Stew, but his name is Andy.
Now, the thing I love about this is that Disco Stew is not so much of a fucking hippie.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
He's Pretty Boy 2000s.
Yeah, Pretty Boy 2000s. And he's got the sideburns, he's got the 70s hairstyle to him, but he's more intelligent in this movie. Pepper, I mean, she kind of speaks for the audience. Like, I mean, like, when the hitchhiker dies, she's like, well, there's one thing for sure I'm not doing is getting in that van, and then she does eventually get in the van. But maybe her character, she just screams a little too much, and that scene with her and Leatherface is like, okay, you could have just completely just booked it and ran. Whatever.
When you have a name like Pepper.
Yeah. Then we have Pepper's little love interest there. He was kind of like an improvement on, I want to say, Terry? Or was Jerry was the Disco Stew, I believe. The thing about all these characters is they're an improvement. Because, let's face it, we don't have Franklin in this movie.
No.
We don't have a character like probably Pepper would be like the Franklin, but I prefer her over Franklin.
Like, there's no paraplegic at all, which there was a huge...
No, I mean, it's not really much of the paraplegic part. It's more along the lines of that obnoxiously annoying character.
Well, yeah, and second on a little baby dick, but like... But in the retrospect of that, like, he couldn't go places. He was
true.
Complaining.
Everyone was able to run in this one. Everyone was being chased and all that kind of stuff.
He had to take time to pull the ramp out on the van. So like this, not having that in this one, it was just like wow, they just completely...
Yeah, I feel like if they did do that with a Franklin type character in this movie, then it'd be like, it's a copy and paste.
It's a copy and paste, yeah.
Then we have our main lead's character's boyfriend, Kemper.
Yeah.
And I know the guy, he wanted to go to Mexico just to get fucking weed, whatever. But he seemed like he was a down-to-earth, genuine guy. Yeah. He really cared for his girlfriend, who we end up finding out he was going to propose to.
Yeah.
You know, his character is bang on. Like, okay, yeah, you kind of side with him. He's like, you know, he wants to agree with the friends, but also he wants to agree with the girlfriend, and he's always a rock stuck in a hard place kind of guy. But then we have our lead character, who is Aaron, played by Jessica Biel. This was Jessica Biel's first movie after leaving, I believe it was Disney. Like, she was doing a lot of family shows, and this is her first movie.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Jessica Biel is, she's married to Justin Timberlake now.
Sure, yeah. Sure. But her character, to me, like, she was a good final girl.
She was.
Like, she's good. But some of the decisions she made in the movie are like, okay, if you're smarter than the rest of your friends, why the fuck did you do that? Like, I mean, like, you know, why didn't you just run? Like, go for help yourself. Like, why did you have to listen to your friends? Why not just get in the fucking van and leave? I mean, like, they literally said, the hitchhiker was like, dead as a doornail. Like, fucking just leave her. Let's go. They could have made it to that Leonard Skinner concert.
True.
If she didn't have so much compassion in her, but she was a fighter. She became that final girl.
Yeah.
Is she one of the best? No, I wouldn't consider her in the top 15. But she was still nonetheless good. Mm-hmm. And as for you?
I liked her character. I think she did the role really well.
Okay. Like, between her and, you know, Sally.
Sally? Probably...
Who'd you prefer more?
Probably Beale by just a little bit.
Just a little bit? Okay. Yeah. I would prefer her over Sally a little bit. Just by a little bit. So echoing you. But this movie, what it does is it improves on the protagonists.
Yeah.
By a long shot. Because we get a chance to know them. Mm-hmm. Unlike the other film, the original, you barely get a chance to know them. And some of them are fucking annoying. And some of them are just like, yeah, you're here for a body count.
Exactly. So
this movie improved on the protagonists.
Oh, absolutely.
Now let's talk about the antagonists. This is the biggest improvement over the original because we have, I want to say Grandpa, the guy in the wheelchair. We still get a guy in a wheelchair, but he's got his legs cut off. Creepy old bastard grabbing Jessica Biel's ass.
But he's
not the grandpa. No, there is no grandpa in this movie.
No,
there's no grandpa, but he's kind of the equivalent
of
the grandpa.
He's the uncle.
Yeah, he's the uncle. Then there's the mom.
Yeah.
Who we never saw until like Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah.
So,
but she
new addition.
But she did a great job.
Oh, she did a great job.
Because she was not. Because if you really pay attention, she's the clerk in the
yeah, she's the clerk
in the gas station, and she, you know, you really have to hold your character like she was.
And she was played wonderfully by the actress.
What's the word I'm trying to look for? Like she was very.
She has to like bind her role.
Oh yeah.
Without giving it away.
Yeah. So.
Like when she turns, when you realize that she's part of this the Hewitt family, because it's not the Sawyer family, it's the Hewitt family. Then it's like a full turn, like the whole like I know you're kind, the kind of people that nothing but cruelty and whatever towards my boy, and it's just like, oh yeah, she's one of those kind of moms.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then we have the additionals with the family, the two in the trailer park, or the trailer,
the big lady,
and the fucking girl who looks like that one possessed chick in PT, with no eyebrows, no nothing. Steal the baby, right?
Yeah.
And they're fine. More new additions.
Yeah.
They had to do something different, but the best addition, by far, is Sheriff Hoyt, played by the late and brilliant Arlie Erby. If you haven't seen Full Metal Jacket, go watch it. He makes that movie. As Sergeant Hartman. Oh, fuck. This movie, he steals the fucking show.
Steals it.
There is always a character that steals the fucking show in each of these fucking movies.
Mm-hmm.
Chop Top in 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Foree's character in 3.
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey in 4. Don't hold a candle to Arlie Ermey.
No.
He fucking played someone who was despicable, disgusting, not likable. You were rooting for him to die, but fuck did you, like, love hating him.
Oh.
Now, I love fucking Arlie Ermey in this movie. He was the one thing that always, like, even watching it back in the day, I was like, I fucking hate this guy, but God, this guy's good.
He was really good.
Like,
really
great addition. Like, everyone on the internet even fucking knows that. Like, Arlie Ermey made this fucking movie great.
He just had that...
To me, this is
He had
Arlie
that go
Ermey's...
fuck yourself attitude.
Yeah, that whole line. Excuse me, son, mind getting the fuck out of my way? Like, fucking... or, like, just hold her up. She's deader than a fucking doornail. God damn. I'm like, oh, fuck this guy. He's so blunt. This is Arlie Ermey's swan song.
Yeah.
Like, you know how... What we mean by swan song is, you know how Lon Chaney Jr. did Spider Mabel?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was... No, not Spider Mabel. Spider Baby.
My Spider Baby, yeah.
Spider Baby. That was his targets for Boris Karloff. Mm-hmm. That's their swan song. This is Arlie Ermey's swan song. To me, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get any better than this.
You can't.
And this was probably... I would say this is his best performance, but then there's Sergeant Hartman. That's his best performance. Mm. But either way, I love the fucking character, and I love this Hewitt family.
Oh, so do I. I think this Hewitt family is just so interesting, and
very interesting.
Not a point to where it's like, what the hell are you going to do next kind of thing.
Yeah. I was never bored with this family.
No, I wasn't either. Yeah, like you said, Arlie Ermey is he is a character.
Top-notch guy. So now we get into your boy Leatherface, played by Andrew Bernarski. So we all know that Andrew Bernarski kind of had put some heat on himself when after Gunnar Hansen passed away, he was like boo-hoo on his Twitter account. But I understand why he did it now, realizing that it's like no one gave him a fair shake. Because it's Gunnar Hansen, right? After rewatching 2003's, it's the Derek Mears effect for me when it comes to Jason, where it's like, he played an amazing character.
He did.
And Andrew Bernarski, even like watching the behind the scenes where, like, after Michael Bay had said that he was doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Andrew Bernarski was like, I gotta play Leatherface. I was born to wear the mask. I'm like, for someone to be that dedicated.
Well,
and his look is better.
Oh, it's really good. Like, just from the clothes he wore and the
he's got these gauntlets on.
Yeah, and then the masks.
He has the Kemper mask, or the face mask, right? And then he's got his mask in the movie,
which is like a face guard.
No, that's the other movie. This one's the Leatherface look.
Oh yes,
that look.
Yes,
but the mask looked great. His physique looked great.
He's a big motherfucker.
And he was probably, like, besides Gunnar Hansen, he was probably the one Leatherface who you bought into the whole, like, that guy is holding a 50-pound chainsaw and he's chasing her.
Oh yeah, he's
for a big guy.
Oh yeah, there was no, it's.
It looked like he was wearing shoulder pads at one point where I'm like, it looks like he's wearing football pads. But the thing I think that really makes this character great is that they wanted to make Leatherface scary again.
Oh,
and this movie did it.
This is the one that did it, and it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I'll admit it. I remember watching it like 2003. I was 13 years old, so it's like, do the math, and like I remember, and just I guess we'll get into that, but like, just the mask and seeing the mask, and it just was like,
you express a lot of emotions while wearing a mask is kind of hard, and he was able to do it.
Oh yeah, he was, and he played it really well.
Yeah, Andrew Bernarski is in my top 3 for Leatherfaces.
And like for me, not to stereotype it, but everyone will have a preference on build and size on a horror movie character, you know, like he has to be this and that. But it's like for Leatherface, it's like you gotta be over 6 feet and you gotta be over 250.
Yeah,
because
300's okay, but 250.
300. So 300.
I'm glad.
He was close to 300, and in the movie.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that he has to be like 6 foot, almost 250
well,
pounds. Because I can't wait to talk about a certain fucking movie where I'm like, yeah, I love that characteristic of that's what needs to make Leatherface. I can't wait to talk about that one. Fuck that movie. But this movie's Leatherface is great.
Unbelievable. All right. So for the gore and the kills in this movie,
oh god, yeah,
it's pretty intense. It's
an improvement over the original.
It's definitely an improvement from
the original. We were just talking about how he killed people with a chainsaw in this movie.
Yeah, compared to
Kemper actually was the only one who died by a sledgehammer. The only one. Yeah. When Kemper looks through the doorway or whatever, and then he just hits him with the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
The only one who dies by a sledgehammer. But, yeah, no, the gore and the kills were great. There's only just one problem. One kill we don't get to see. And that's Pepper's kill.
Yes.
Because we just see the fluttering of the feathers from the jacket. But that's still nothing. That's not bad. That's not saying it's bad. I mean, like, what's his face? The hippie guy in this movie. Fucking, not Disco Stew. Fuck, I can never remember his name. But when he gets hooked up,
yeah,
and you know Chainsaw went, the Leatherface went up with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
You didn't have to see it.
No.
But you knew it was going to be bad.
Oh, 100%.
At first, I remember when I watched it, I thought it was going to cut him in half.
Yeah.
I had to wait until another movie for that. But to see the gore and the kills in this movie with being a bigger improvement, and of course, 1974, I'm not going to give it flack for the fact that you barely see the gore; it's all implied. And this one, 2003, they're going to up the gore, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But it's just the execution of how these things happened. Both movies have their strengths when it comes to the gore and the kills.
No, very much so, and it's like, and it almost sucks because it's like almost 30 years apart.
Yeah.
From the original to the 2000s.
Almost 30 years.
Oh, and you know, it's...
See, the original, it's less is more, and this one, it's excess. I guess Carnage Candy. Both can enjoy, like, you can get enjoyment from either or, right? If you're feeling like, you know, less is more, the original. This one, Carnage Candy.
But see, in my opinion for this is like, I think each, if you're talking about the original and the 2003 remake, you're thinking of what made the first one so iconic, and you're thinking of, it's the chase. It's the chase with the hitchhiker and then him coming behind.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of the chase in this one?
Well, I'll get to that, but like...
Because there's multiple chases.
There is multiple chases.
But there has to be that one chase. Yeah. Which would you identify as the one chase? Because this one has good ones.
It does have good ones.
We got Buddy who gets his leg cut off. I have a little bit of a gripe with that one, but I'll get to that. But then there's there's the many Jessica Biel ones where, even to the climax where they're at the meat factory.
Yeah.
No,
mine would have to be
the one where he's in the Kemper mask, the one where he's in his other mask.
No, with the Kemper, I think that's one of my favorites.
Oh, the Kemper mask?
Yeah.
Because that chase, like, he fucking full on chases after her. That's before she goes into that trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, like, the movie improves on even the chase scene. Because there's multiple ones that are good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the gore and the kills, it's on par with the original.
It is. And like,
gorier, but on par.
But like what I was going to say was, you have the iconic chase scene in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how people will remember and identify the original. But when you come to this 2003 one, for me, I think if there's any scene that will remember, oh, that's the 2003 remake. It's the hitchhiker shooting herself.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's especially that camera shot where it's showing their reactions and it comes out of her mouth and back of the head and we see the head snap. That was an amazing gore.
It was, and not just that, but
amazing
it happened.
Effect, too.
It happened so quickly in the movie, and it got right smack down this into the bullshit.
Yeah, this is like, nope, you're gonna be seeing a different fucking movie, guys.
Yeah, which
it's not gonna be shot for shot remake. Sorry, but no.
So yeah, for me, that's where I take it as.
Yeah. So for the ending of this one, I mean, it's not the standard. Him dancing around with the chainsaw, swinging around or anything. This movie did something that was ballsy, which was cut one of Leatherface's arms off.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was interesting. Like, oh fuck, so Leatherface is gonna have a missing arm, and I was like, oh, I guess he's gonna bleed out and die. Until when Jessica Biel has the kid, the baby, and they're driving out, and I mean, this is where I think her improvement is over Sally, was because she's not screaming her fucking head off like that. But then she's driving, all of a sudden you see fucking Leatherface just one last scare. Yeah. And he's got the one arm twirling the chainsaw and he's giving this menacing look.
Oh yeah, it was. And then what I loved even more, and I maybe it's just me because I like old school stuff, is how they have the screenshot back to the guy touring the house.
Oh, the behind the scenes stuff.
Because
they're trying to play it off like this is a real event that happened.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that they did that.
It happens in the beginning of the movie too, yeah.
Yeah, and then
they go through the evidence and everything, and
I love how they went back to it at the end because it just made perfect sense to go back to the after the movie ended.
Yeah.
To do this, and then he gets attacked, and it's Leatherface, and they show that picture in the background, and it's just like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah, they
black and white too. It's just like, oh.
Because I think it was like 1974 when they were doing that scene where the police were investigating the house. The only gripe I have with that, I'll talk to our pros and cons about that later, but when it comes to the ending and the fact that they really wanted to play up the whole, this was a real event, this has really happened, they fucking nailed it.
Oh, nailed it.
So, okay, after 20 years, I really wanted to do this review last year, but I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
For 20 years, this movie was heavily regarded as one of the worst remakes. And now fans have come around to appreciate it. It's actually one of the best remakes. It's one of Platinum Dunes' better remakes. Now, in terms of how I felt about this movie, is like, there's no secret. Like, I'm not the biggest Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. Like, if I was to rank the 5 franchises, this would be number 5. But in terms of where do I like this one over the original, and it's just like, well, I mean, you all know how passionate I am with the original. This movie did a lot of things with changing from the original and also being its own while being a remake. Knocked it out of the park. The characters were a lot better in this one than the original. I know that's blasphemy. Andrew Bernarski's Leatherface is on the same par as Gunnar Hansen's to a degree. The kills are a lot better just for the carnage candy of it. And, you know, that's not saying that's a slight on the original. That's just, you know, hey, less was more in that one and it was effective. But this one has Arlie Ermey in it. And Arlie Ermey automatically fucking improves it because he is a menacing character. Because we had Leatherface in number 3, who was like not really taken seriously. Viggo Mortensen's in that movie, right? Whatever. Then you have Matthew McConaughey in 4, or The Next Generation, who steals the show from Leatherface. And then number 2, Chop Top steals the show over Leatherface.
No.
This one, yeah, Arlie Ermey's Sheriff Hoyt steals the show, but Leatherface is not like a, oh, okay, I'm just going to take the push and whatever. he's like, no, I'm fucking as menacing as him.
Man, and it just his walking, how creepy he walks around the corner, and
he fucking nails that.
He doesn't like full out show how tall he is. He's like creeping and he's lurking.
Like that whole scene where he's opening the lockers and everything, just lurking and shit. And I love how he turned the chainsaw off.
Well, he's very, very smart.
And for that, I can easily say, when it comes to my favorites in the TCM franchise, this is bar none my favorite. So for my rating, it's not perfect, but it's definitely getting a 9 out of 10. To me, this is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, so I have to go on by saying that this is how you do remakes. Like, you see so many horror movies that are getting remakes now, 20 years later, and some are absolute shit. Like, absolute shit. This one...
I gotta correct you, man. I mean, yeah, for slasher remakes, sure.
For slasher
remakes, okay, good. Because I was gonna say, this is how you do remakes? No, John Carpenter's The Thing is how you do remakes.
Well, yes, but, like, I mean, in this day...
In 2003, when you're doing a remake of a slasher franchise, this is how you do it.
And, you know, I loved everything about the movie. It was creepy at the beginning, just how eerie and whatnot.
Leatherface was scary.
Leatherface was scary. There was gore. He used the chainsaw a lot more. Arlie Ermey is just by himself. It's just amazing. Characters are great, not annoying at all.
Yeah.
I had fun with it, and I'm pissed because you said it first, because I had it in my head at the very beginning when we were doing this video that this is a 9 out of 10 for me as well.
We're actually fucking tied. We both agree. This is a 9 out of 10.
It was between 8.5 and 9, but watching this movie again, it's like, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. And
it's a film that holds up.
It's a film that holds up, and the next couple of movies don't come close.
No, they don't.
They don't, but you'll have to find out.
Yeah. So, you heard from here, this is a first where we both agree on a certain rating. Like, me and Justin didn't agree on a certain rating of any of the Saw films, but I can safely say that me and him gladly agree. Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, the remake, is a 9 out of 10. So what do you guys think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, make sure you also give it the thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get notified about all the other videos coming out on the channel. Anyways, guys, that's it from us. This has been the Ginger Snaps here. My name is Steven Harrold.
I'm Kris.
And in the next episode, we will be giving you guys our review for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. Continuation of the 2003 remake. So we'll talk to you guys later, and remember,
Saw his family.